What's up guys, Nevin here, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you about how I created for Chris Ramsay. For those of you who don't know, I created a ring magic trick where you take a ring and you toss it on your finger. That trick was then taught on Chris Ramsay's channel. I'm going to leave a link in the bio so you can check that out, or wherever, so you can go check that out. But this is the backstory behind that. So let's rewind about 3 years, I think. So back when I was in college, I was creating magic, I was performing, and the benefit of being in college and while doing all that is you get to meet a lot of performers because the school brings in people to perform, and it's a great time. So at the time, my school had brought in this performer, not Chris Ramsay, another performer, good friend, mentor of mine, and we had talked a little before he came over to my school to perform, like we had known each other, and then we met officially and I watched his show and it was killer. Then after the show, after all that happened, we kept in contact, and I would always message him with things that I was creating, and he would push me creatively. He'd be like, but make it better, do more, how could this improve, don't stop where you're at. And so this rapport was really great, and me and him are still good friends to this day. I really appreciate him. I'm not naming him for the sake of this conversation because he was a key factor in how I created for Chris Ramsay. So, fast forward a little. I think I was a senior in college at the time, and I created that ring trick. I sent it over to my friend, my mentor, and he saw it and he was like, well, all right, great. What do you want to do with this though? Do you want to make money or do you want exposure? And so I had to think about that for a little bit, how I wanted to present this. And I told him, ultimately, the decision was I want the exposure with it, because I think I was doing YouTube videos at the time, and I was doing, Instagram magic, and so I was like, the exposure would be better than the amount of money I would make, selling this trick. I probably wouldn't have made more than $2 off of it, to be honest with you. And so he messaged his friend, who happened to be Chris Ramsay. Chris Ramsay and him talked. I'm not sure what they talked about behind the scenes, but then I got brought into a chat with the two of them. Chris said, great, I love it, it's incredible. Insert Chris talking about it here.
2 tutorials that we're going to teach you today, which is kind of cool. A guy by the name of Nevin Sanchez submitted this ring effect to me, and I thought it was really cool. Now it's a little bit knacky, but it's actually really insanely visual. Basically, it looks like you throw the ring through your finger and bam, it lands on your finger. Actual first video that he sent me via Facebook, he just sent me a link, and this is what I watched, and this is what fooled me. So this is what made me want to bring this on the channel and share it with you guys. The second I saw it, I was like, whoa, that freaked me out just a little bit. I thought it was like a special ring or something like that. Turns out it's just an average finger ring. And you know what? I'll let Nevin get into the explanation for this. So have a look at his performance as well as the tutorial. However, the first time I watched this, I was completely fooled. I was floored, and I was like, is this like a ring that opens up and like wraps around? I have to remember that initial feeling when performing it, because sometimes we feel guilty about performing things because we think the method is too obvious. But if done correctly, this could be super striking and is a nice little add-on to that Justin Miller move in Divorce where he plucks the ring off, or to Patrick Kuhn's Reflex, I think it was, where he plucks the ring off. You can add on to that. So it's kind of cool, kind of a freebie. I like it. So anyways, thank you to Nevin for sending this in. That's super generous of you. And if you want to go and support him, give him a follow, sort of as a thank you for sharing this with everybody. I left his Instagram link below, so make sure to check that out.
Chris genuinely liked the trick. So me and him had some back and forth, and so I thought I would be teaching him the trick. I thought I was going to end up teaching him the trick, and then he was going to teach that trick on the channel, which was not the case. So I called up my other mentor, Brian Miller. He helped me film this, and so I was like, oh yeah, we're just sending it over to Chris, whatever, it's not a big deal. And then Chris took that video and put it on his channel, and so if I had known he was going to do that, I probably would have made it look a little bit better. But overall, it was still really cool, and it was cool to be featured on the channel like that, I guess the moral of the story is you never know where your connections are going to take you, because I never had really direct contact with Chris himself unless it was through that three-way chat, And I never would have gotten this trick in front of him if it weren't for our mutual friend, which I'm so grateful for him because he made that whole thing happen. So it's, I guess overall, if you're looking for a message out of the story is, you know, you never know who you meet or who you're gonna talk to that's gonna take you to higher places. Because now that video, I think that video on YouTube has almost, I think 300,000 views. I think it might be 250, I could be wrong. But I know he posted on Facebook and that got a few million views on Facebook, and that's insane. And I guess a little more backstory on it is that Chris never asked me to create this trick. This is a trick I created on my own. So if you're creating magic, or if you're doing anything, you're a songwriter, or, you know, an artist, you gotta share your work with people and see where that takes you. You know, I don't create for anybody specifically other than myself. When I do create and I share it with somebody and they appreciate it, that's incredible. But more so when I share it with somebody and then it goes to the next level, that's amazing. So hope you guys really enjoyed that story. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope there was a moral or a lesson in there that you could take away. But until then, I'll see you in the next video.